Oh, hey guys, just saying goodbye to my THC EQ from Kush Audio with a K. Greg Scott over there makes some incredible stuff. I got to send this back to him. I don't think I will. I think I'm going to keep it. This thing is incredible. Check out Vintage King. I'm sure they have them. Today what I thought I'd do is I've been mixing a group called D-Mechanic. You'll hear about them soon. Really good stuff. And there were a couple of songs, and as I was mixing them, I started thinking, God, this would make a great example of some of the things I've shown you guys before. Sounds change, things change. When you hear a song from the 80s, you immediately know it's a song from the 80s. So we have to assume that things we're doing now are going to sound like the 2012s 10 years from now. But one of the things we're doing is we're adding a little more mid-range to the vocals so that they can compete with the increased amount of limiting we do on the stereo bus. If everything's squashed, EQ is a way to get things to stand out more. If you can't use dynamics, you can use EQ. So I thought this vocal had a lot of interesting examples of how to approach that. So let's jump right in. Let me play you the song. This is Into Her Eyes by D-Mechanic.
6 steps in the min. This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy.
Let me play you the raw vocal before I touched it. This is what it sounded like when I got it.
6 steps in the min. This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy.
You can see it has a little trouble competing with all the mid-range stuff I've got in the track. So now let me solo this and show you what I got.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy.
Now, what I did was I used a new EQ for me. It's not new, but it's new to me. I like this EQ because it sounds good, and then I can solo various frequencies. So let me put it in for you.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy.
Now, I wanted a little more of this frequency. If I click this, I can solo just the frequency, 15K.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy. This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy. This dance was calling me in.
Okay, now what you'll notice, I've rolled off a lot of the low end. I've added some 15K, add a little bit above that. I'm getting it ready to compete once it's limited in mastering, and then I'm creating a sound that's unique for this song. Now watch what happens. As I add elements back, we're going to get a little bit of the bottom back.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy. This dance was calling me in. My interior.
Okay, now with the UAD 1176, you see I got a little bit of the roundness back. I also got a little bit of volume, cheating. Now, here's the Shadow Hills compressor, the Pensado edition. This adds even more fullness to the bottom.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy.
Out.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy.
Okay, now all this de-esser is doing is just a shelf type de-essing, which I like better on the Waves version than I did on the Massey that I normally use.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy. This dance was.
Sounds real musical. Okay, so let's check out some of the effects that I added. Now, I wouldn't call it an effect, but it's parallel compressing. I wanted to add a little bit of the bottom back in, so I'm doing it via squeezing it a little bit. Nothing unusual, just a standard compressor, feeding that back in. Let me show you that. Okay, I'm going to add a little bit of the return. I can't do it from the send because it'll squeeze it, so.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy. This dance was calling me in. My interior being.
Okay, so you see it just adds a little bit of the compressed original back in, which gives us a little more of that roundness. Now, another thing, if you remember, Tom Elmhurst and Justin Niebank talked about, and Andrew Shep talked about mono spring reverbs. So I'm adding a little mono spring reverb.
This dance was calling me in. My interior being's going crazy.
And I'm also got a delay on that reverb. And then this is one of my favorites. This is our old standby.
This dance was calling me and my interior being's going crazy. This dance was calling me and my interior being's going crazy. This dance was calling me and my interior being's going crazy.
Now I'm gonna break that down for you so you can see. All it really is just a doubler. I'm detuning and tuning -1 +1, staying within the Haas effect, 19 milliseconds, 14 on the other side. The numbers aren't as important, it's just that they're different and past 14. And then that's dumping into just a little touch of 7K, and then a waves imager to kind of widen it. And then last but not least, I'm adding a little piece of outboard gear. This is the Eventide Orville.
This dance was calling me and my interior being's going crazy. This dance was calling me and my interior being's going crazy.
There's pieces of gear that over time you just get a comfort factor with. You've used them so much, you know what they sound like, they're predictable. You don't want to use too many of those, but every once in a while it's just the perfect piece of gear. And this song was just screaming for a preset on the Orville. Not a lot of you guys have that, but basically it's another plus and minus pitch thing, harmonizer, an average reverb, and an 1/8 note delay. But the combination just so perfect in that preset. And but you can create that kind of like what we did already, but we're doubling up a couple of things here. Okay, once again, here's the finished product.
6 steps and I'm in. This dance was calling me and my interior being's going crazy. I saw her eye glowing in the middle of a dark.
Okay, so remember now, we're looking for a sound that matches the song. We're looking for a sound that matches the world we live in. We're looking for a sound that's going to compete and withstand the pressures of a little extra limiting, and I think we found it.